My mother-in-law kept accidentally triggering my food allergies, so I accidentally turned her into a vegetable. I have a severe tree nut allergy. My mother-in-law Patricia knows this, but she always calls me dramatic, says I'm just trying to make myself special, and that nobody had allergies in her day. The first time she nearly called me, I had given her printed cards and a laminated list that said exactly what I was allergic to. But she still served walnut brownies for dinner and cried crocodile tears while I stabbed myself with an EpiPen. I should have just run then, but I married her son Mark, and things just kept getting worse. At our wedding, Patricia tried to order our wedding cake with hazelnut cream filling. If I hadn't triple-checked with the baker, she would have completely ruined my special day. When I confronted her about it, she said she was just trying to do something special, and I was being ungrateful. Mark agreed with her and said mistakes happen. Last Christmas, she made sugar cookies. I had been married for 2 years, so you'd think these were safe, except for the fact that she used almond extract and almond flour. As soon as I ate it, I went into shock and spent my Christmas Eve in the ICU. She pulled out the crocodile tears again when the cops showed up to investigate, and my husband Mark defended her by saying the cookies were a holiday tradition and that I should have checked the ingredients before eating. Still, the worst breaking point was yet to come. I was 7 months pregnant when Patricia insisted on hosting my baby shower. She had spent months showing me she had changed and sent pictures of my allergy cards stuck to her fridge. Mark also told me to have faith in his mother and said she'd never hurt her grandchild, so I ended up saying yes. The baby shower was beautiful with pink roses everywhere. Then Patricia brought out her surprise and gave everyone these snacks that looked like cupcakes. She looked me in the eye and said, "Nothing but the best for my daughter-in-law." I smiled and took a bite, after which Patricia said, "I hope you like them. Those walnuts were really expensive and hard to find." I froze. "Walnuts? You gave me walnuts?" She looked completely clueless and repeated, "Yes, I did. Surely your ridiculous allergy won't prevent you from having walnuts, right?" I felt my throat closing and immediately rushed for the EpiPen in my purse. Patricia and Mark had already moved on to talking about wedding planning, and my friends were the ones who called an ambulance for me. The paramedics said I was lucky. The baby's heart rate dropped, but recovered in time. I spent 3 days in the hospital and Mark never visited. Instead, he stayed with his mother, who was too upset because she felt terrible about her mistake. When I returned from the hospital, I found a hidden folder in Mark's room. He had taken out a $1 million life insurance policy on me after our wedding, and the beneficiary was Patricia. That's when I realized Patricia was trying to call me, and my husband was letting her. Neither of them cared about my life. I laid in my bed with a hand on my belly and felt something cold and clear wash over me. If Patricia wanted to play games with accidents, then I would give her a taste of her own medicine. After my release from the hospital, I started watching Patricia differently and studied her routine obsessively. Every Sunday, she made her famous rose hip tea and drank it religiously at 3 p.m. inside her garden. I saw that she had foxglove planted in her garden, and that gave me an idea. She had planted it herself and knew exactly how dangerous it was, so it would be her own fault if it somehow got into her drink. During Sunday dinner, while she berated Mark about my dramatics, I excused myself to use the bathroom. Then I went into her cabinet and mixed a special vial into the blend she used for her tea. The next Sunday, I watched her prepare her tea with the contaminated blend. She settled into her garden chair and drank it without suspecting anything. By the third sip, her hand had started trembling. "Patricia, are you all right?" I pretended to care and watched her trying to stand but stumbling back onto the chair. Her face flushed, then went pale. She clutched her chest and gasped loudly, which is finally when I acted. "Mark!" I screamed. "Call 911! Your mother's having a heart attack!" The paramedics found her in full cardiac arrest. They managed to restart her heart, but the damage was extensive. The doctors told us her tea was contaminated with foxglove from her own garden. It seems she accidentally mixed her herbs. Mark kept sobbing and I held him in my arms like a good wife. Patricia survived, but also didn't. Her brain damage was too severe and she practically turned into a vegetable. She can't speak, she can't move, and needs constant care. After I divorced Mark, he gave me full custody because he had to help his mother 24/7. I visited Patricia once before the divorce was finalized. I brought her tea and said, "Nothing but the best for my mother-in-law." Though she couldn't move, she looked at the cup in my hand with terror and probably realized who did that to her, but it was too late to do anything about it.